Hello, colleagues. On this episode of On the School Bus with Dr. Spates, I'm interviewing a mentor, somebody who inspired me to actually be a school leader, Dr. Timothy Howell, known as a turnaround principal. He has totally impacted and turned around the campus climate of 3 middle schools in Los Angeles County. In this episode, we really get into the social emotional aspect of leadership. One, leading from a broken place, leading with who you are, not imitating others, but leading with who you are to impact your school community. And Dr. Howell talks about the importance of humanizing people, allowing them to be human, right? So look forward to an awesome episode, and thank you to Culture Kings for this new LA hat. It does say SC on the back. And I had to wear it because Dr. Howell is a Bruin. So just to poke a little fun at him, fight on, Dr. Howell. Enjoy this episode of On the School Bus with Dr. Spates. Let's go. Welcome to On the School Bus with Dr. Spates, the podcast dedicated to advancing creativity and innovation in education. Each week, we invite educators, innovators, and creatives from across the country doing the real work in schools to hop on the school bus with me, Dr. Spates. Together, we explore what's working. Whether you lead from an office, a classroom, or anywhere in between, this podcast is your vehicle for creative ideas, bold leadership, and strategies that have been put to the test where it counts, in schools. Because our children, families, caregivers, and communities are counting on us to equip the next generation for success. Let's go. Welcome to the school bus.
This is the school bus. I like it.
It's
I
gorgeous,
like it.
isn't
No,
it?
this is nice. Nice setup, Dr. Spates.
Thank you. So welcome to
Yeah.
On the School Bus with Dr. Spades.
Yes.
Let's go for a ride.
Let's go.
All righty. So today I have with me a phenomenal educator, Dr. Timothy Howell. He is a 27-year veteran educator. He has been a principal for 10 years.
Correct. Yes.
3 sites. I call him a turnaround principal because he has, in fact, totally shifted the culture at 3 of the schools that he's led. He's been recognized in his school district as Site Leader of the Year. He was recognized by the, let me see if I can get this right, Association of California School Administrators.
Yes,
as the
AXA. Yes.
The region principal of the year.
Yes.
Okay. And then most recently, he received a phenomenal statewide award, the Ida B. Wells Award from the California Association of African American Superintendents and Administrators. That's a lot in 27 years.
Yes, that's a lot. And don't forget, even before I became an administrator, I was nominated as Teacher of the Year.
Of the Year, okay.
Yes, at the elementary school. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
So in your words, because those are accolades, things, on walls, but who is Dr. Timothy Howell?
Wow, that's a good question because, like over the years, you grow. You start off as one person, you'll grow into somebody else. But overall, I still have my core values. I am a family man. I'm a creative person. I like structure and discipline. If I have a goal in front of me, I'm going to go after it if I want it. And so, overall, I wouldn't say that I'm better than the next man. I feel like, I'm willing to work hard. I'm willing to work hard for what I want. If I want something, then I can go after it and get it. And I also have the ability to fail, which I have done many times.
We
but
all do, right?
Yeah,
That's real.
right. And then you get back up. And you just try to figure it out. And that's the journey of life. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like that's me, I'm just navigating through life and I think navigation through life is a good thing because when you're done navigating, then you're done.
Right. I don't want to be done.
Right. So I'm always looking for the next
Yes,
thing that
absolutely.
I'm going to do. But yeah, but overall, I'm just like just a regular person. Family man, I with structure and discipline and making mistakes as I go through.
Yeah. And you're very humble because yes, you are a regular man navigating life, but most people spend their entire careers at a site or in a role, and they cannot make the progress that you consistently make, no matter what school site you're at. And so the idea of a turnaround principle, because that's always been my goal. So
Yeah.
what do I do? How do I take a school, and we look at the academic data, the student climate data. How do I create a better school community for all of the kids who are going to be there during the time that I'm there? So how do you do this over and over again?
Right. So for me, you know, I I make it my home. I make it what I'm about. I'm not I don't like chaos and I don't like drama and I don't like, disorganization. And, I want things to be a certain way.
Right.
So if I'm going to be around it for me to operate in it, I have to create that environment that I want.
Right.
So, when you talk about how do I turn the school around? I mean, there's a lot of components to that. But one thing that is crucial to this whole thing that a lot of people seem to overlook is we gotta humanize people.
Yes.
And
Yes.
build relationships.
Yes.
Like, when you're dealing with kids and you're dealing with parents and you're dealing with adults, we're all human.
Right.
And it's a humbleness that goes along with that, because you might have a little girl that's crying that don't want to come to school. And you got to be able to understand and say, I wonder why she doesn't want to come. What's going on at home?
Right.
But at the same time, you still hold the standard.
Right.
Well, you got to be here.
Right.
So how can I help you? Teachers, the same thing. Every staff member has their own experience and have their own individual lives.
Yes.
And they going through something.
Right. So true.
Everybody going. And if you're
Yes.
not going through,
It's coming.
It's coming. Get ready.
Everybody gets a turn.
Everybody gets some, right?
Right.
So when you're going into an environment to where, the school is out of control, that's what I'm looking at. I'm like, what's going on? Why is this?
Right.
Why is there chaos? What's wrong with the kids? See, most of the time for me, it's not really the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that might hurt some of the
Right.
adults, but the kids are not the problem.
Right.
The
Right.
kids are only going to respond
Very
to
true.
what they're given.
The leaders, the teachers, the staff, the adults
Most
on
definitely.
campus. Absolutely.
You let a kid eat candy all day, they will.
Right. Absolutely.
They're
Right.
not thinking about cavities and things. They're
Right.
going to enjoy that moment. So, going into that environment, I always look at relational capacity. I deal with how do I build relationships with my staff, my custodian, everybody on campus. Even I don't like animals and birds and stuff. If it's a bird always there on the campus,
How we gonna work together?
we got to
What
work
do you
together,
need?
because you making a mess over here on the campus. So now I got to clean that up every week.
Right.
So I don't know.
But you said something I think is powerful. You talked about, because everybody now says build relationships. Well, if it comes easy to you, like
Right.
this, I happen to know, but it's not natural and it doesn't come easy to people.
Most
But
definitely.
the idea that one of the things you do, like, you humanize people. So I feel like you and I have worked with you, so
Yes.
I've gotten to experience you as a leader, and you actually inspired me to be a school leader. So I've learned so much from you. So thank you.
Yeah. So there's two things I'm gonna tell you about, a little bit about my personal, but to humanize people. If you ever been broken or been in a situation where you just lost everything
Yes.
and things didn't go the way you planned and you get stripped, that's one humbling position.
Right.
That, man, I experienced that, and that didn't feel good.
Right.
So when I was able to walk into leadership, for example, I had a teacher, and I don't really care for animals that much. I mean, my fiance, she has a dog, and
Yeah.
she'll pay me money to take the dog for a walk and things.
She has to pay you.
Oh
to
yeah,
take a
oh
dog
yeah.
for a walk. Wait a
She
minute.
puts money on my prize picks. Yeah, so when I bet on the game, so
Okay,
she'll be like, "Do you want some prize picks?" I'll be like, "All right, yeah." So come on,
Love
dog,
it.
let's go.
I love it.
But I mean, the dog is cool.
Right.
But one of my teachers their dogs got out, and the teacher came to work, And he was so distraught and just was like, I've never seen him so sad because his dogs got out of the gate and he couldn't find them. And he was looking for them all night and he had to come to work.
Right.
And the dogs were not found. And he was so sad. And I had to then, when he told me about it, I couldn't just,
Right. Be in your classroom. The
Yeah.
bell's going to ring.
so I
Right.
had to really find empathy, even though I couldn't really connect.
Yeah.
But I found some empathy with him. Like, man, so I mean, I can imagine how it feels because if my fiance, if she lost her dog,
Right.
it would be. So I kind of found a place where I could connect with him
Right.
in that moment. And it just helped move him along.
Right.
And then when he found the dogs and he came back so happy, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Stop
But
it.
but I cared about him.
Exactly.
I
And
cared
that's most
about him,
important. Yes, You're
so-
just not a dog person.
Right. Yeah, I'm not a
yes.
dog person.
Yes. And that goes a long way. So did you
Yeah.
see, did that relationship pay dividends for you?
Most
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, he's one of my best teachers. He teaches math. I mean, this dude he's a great guy. And a lot of times when people see, everybody has greatness in them. Everybody has that level of gift or something that God has given every
Absolutely.
person, right?
Yes.
And so for me, I try and pull that out of individuals and make them be the best at what they're gifted
Right,
at.
right.
And I try to do that for kids too,
Yes.
because everybody have a gift, but unfortunately, people don't know what their gifts are.
Right. And it takes a special leader to create a space where it's not only permitted, but you're welcome to fully show up and
Yeah.
be who you are and
Yeah.
to use your gifts
Right.
to help children.
Right. And it has to be authentic too.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
people are not going to talk to you and open up with you if you're not real with them.
Right,
Right.
right.
So like if I make a suggestion to, go into, the teacher's classroom that, when you first get and have a conversation with them and see how they're doing.
Right.
And if you're authentic and you're real, especially if in that moment you catch them when they're going through something, then, that opens that door
Right.
and that's where the relationships can start.
Do you think that for people to trust you, do you feel like it almost requires leaders to be vulnerable?
Yeah.
Almost intentionally so that people can see that we are human too.
Most definitely. Like I remember, when I first went to one school, and when I first got into administration, man, I was a broken man, to be honest with you. I wasn't no good to myself or anybody, and so every time I would talk to the people, I would talk about my story because that's just where I was and
Right.
my passion. And, I would cry sometimes and, share my story about, different things. And then after I got past that, and then one of the teachers got mad at me, then she made a comment to somebody else, and he always crying about So I was like, yeah, but that's what you have to be vulnerable. It
Right.
doesn't always have to be a negative thing.
Right,
that was just
absolutely.
a time in my life,
Right.
because
But you're willing to share.
willing to share. Because see now, if I go into a new school, they gonna know about the wedding that's coming up.
That's coming up.
I'm expecting some gifts and some, that's it'll be a happy time, and they'll be like, man, this guy's life is perfect. No,
Yes,
I'm just
yes.
telling you the good time now, right?
And the thing that I know that you do too, that comes with humanizing people, is you allow people to release perfectionism.
Oh yeah.
And I think as educators, because we love kids so much and want to have impact, we can be perfectionists.
Yes.
But that, I think, it limits our impact and our ability to touch students' life, because that's not a real thing. So I think
Right.
you being vulnerable,
Yeah.
it gives people space to also be vulnerable and
Right.
take risks, no
Yeah.
matter what that looks
And,
like.
and I share the story of my daughter, when she first started taking Mandarin Chinese, right? And she was in 7th grade at the time. And actually I showed the video of her speaking Mandarin Chinese to the students sometimes to show them, like, you can master whatever you want if you work
Right.
hard at it, right? But when you're talking about that perfection thing, not being perfect, she was really good in school. And so she attempted to take Mandarin Chinese, and on her first test, she got an F. She got her F on her first test, and she came home. I was like, yes,
What dad does that?
yes. I was so happy. because, she was just so smart with everything.
Right.
So I'm like, now you have a challenge. Now you get to
Yes.
figure out how to, so mistakes are good sometimes.
Right.
It's okay to make mistakes. Just learn from them.
Absolutely.
That's all. Yeah.
And that's really what we want to happen in schools, looking
Yeah.
at data and going through that iterative cycle of, okay, I have the F. What do I need to do now
Right.
to get the A?
Yes.
Implement, try some strategies, see what works, and just keep going.
Yes.
But when I asked you about being a turnaround principal, this is a hard part. I feel like amazing leaders are so humble. So we have humanizing people, right? Giving people space to operate in their gifts and talents. But I still feel like those are kind of like up here. It comes very naturally to you.
Right.
But to maybe an aspiring turnaround principal who wants to have the impact that you had, what are some other things that we need to, because I'm one of those people, so what
Right.
are some other things we need to think about
Right.
when leading a school?
So there is a combination of things. That's just not one thing. That relational capacity. If you don't have that, you're shooting yourself in the foot. You got to be able to work with the people that's there. You got to be able to work with
Right.
everybody, the
Right.
community. But another thing too, you have to look at the environment that you're going into
Okay.
and see what the needs are in that environment. So, at a particular school, if they need structure and systems in place, because you may have a school that they got all the structures and systems, but things are still not working.
Right.
So you got to come in and see what the issues are. That's why you got to have the relationship. Talk to the people. They will tell you each teacher will, I hate it when this happens, or I like this, or whatever.
Right.
The community will tell you,
Right.
the students will tell you what they need. So you got to have a sensitive ear to the environment that you're going in.
Right.
When I went into the environment that I went into for the school, I had heard about the things, but I hadn't talked to anybody yet.
Right.
So my first day on the campus, I went there and it was nobody. I went specifically when there was nobody there.
Okay.
And I wanted to feel the atmosphere. I want to feel the energy. I wanted to feel the presence of the community and what I was getting into.
Right.
So I went to the campus and I walked around and I smelled. I used all my senses and I listened and I looked and I watched and I looked what would kids be doing if this was full of kids, but I did this by myself just to process, I didn't know what I was looking for.
Right.
I didn't know what to expect.
Okay.
I just had that moment because I wanted to get myself ready for the assignment.
Right.
So being open to, learning.
That's powerful too, because when we come into environments, I think any organization, but all I know is schools, right? So whenever you're coming into a new environment, you hear all the whispers, right? Of, I feel like, you just hear the whispers, I say, right? So people are trying to help you form pictures, but I love that you block that out and you wanted to feel for yourself.
Okay. Yeah. Even like you said, I did that in a school environment, but any professional business, if I got out of education and I went into, selling a product, now I got to study this product. I got to feel it. How heavy is it? What does it look like? What am I going to do? People want this.
Right.
What is the competition doing? So you just got to be open to looking at these things. And what that does is it brings your mind into, this atmosphere of ready to work.
Right.
Like actually you can create in your mind. You can ask your mind, how to do this, or I want to make $1 million. I want to do certain things. Now your mind is starting to work.
Right.
It's going to keep working and it wants to solve that problem for you.
Right.
And that's why they say always keep on going.
Right.
Because once you say, I can't do it, I'm not going to do it, the mind is like, oh, that's great. I'm done. I don't have to do no more work.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And so, so we have humanizing, we have being open to the environment, being open. I hear you. You're not saying it, but it's like, I feel like you have space for creativity
Yes.
as well, and how you support and lead your campus.
Yes, because see, there's no one way to do it. And that's why I like for people to know your gift and your strength and your weaknesses. Don't go doing stuff that you are not strong at.
Right.
So I'm going to use my gifts and my talents that I have to to operate in that area, so so that we can create what the school needs, and just because I'm not good, or I may be good in a certain thing, okay, I'm gonna use that to get, the job done. But if I'm not create, for example, I'm not I forget a lot about, remembering people's birthdays and, okay, let's get some food for the staff, or let's
That's
do.
very true. Wait,
Yeah.
I have to tell everybody this story.
Right.
So I was a teacher for Dr. Howell, and it was maybe his first year at the site. And for teacher appreciation, he brought a little, do you remember the little bundt cake? I was like, what?
Yeah.
No, he didn't bring one little
Yeah,
bundt cake.
it was only $10 at the time, I think.
We forgave you because you have such a big heart, and it's very obvious
Right.
that you care. But yes, I agree with that.
And so therefore, I'm not going to operate in that area. I'm going to give that to an assistant, or like my staff meetings and stuff. That's not my strength.
Right.
So I know it has to be done.
Right.
But I give that to somebody else.
Right. Which is awesome because it allows other people to grow and
Yes.
develop their leadership skills as well.
Right. And then I just work on the areas that I'm good at, and I master that. And people, when you good at something, it don't matter what you're good at. You can be good at juggling, but if you're good at it, people will be like, man, he's good. Let's give him a job.
Which is true. And still, I have to, share even at the schools where he has worked at, and looking at suspension data, it has, I don't know the word, you've killed it
Right.
in such a good way, with suspension data, campus climate data. Campuses feel different; they're safer, and also academic data. So it's all the things. And
But
so go ahead.
it's good that you mentioned the suspension and the discipline, because that really is an area that I pride
That's
myself
perfect.
on.
So I was going to ask you for your zone of genius. So
Okay,
so
we could talk about
let's get
that,
into it.
because with discipline, it's easy to just suspend a kid and get them out of there.
Right.
But for me, like, what good is that going to do? I want that kid to learn.
Right.
I'm here to teach you. Right. So that when it comes to discipline and suspension, if a kid, and I know kids are going to mess up. Actually, you're supposed to mess up as a kid.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If you don't mess up as a kid, something wrong with you. So, but when you mess up, I'm going to hold you accountable for that, right? So, like, for example, I used to tell parents when I talk to them, and teachers too, like, I don't want to suspend him, so he can be at home, eating all the cereal, using up all the milk, got the electricity, air conditioning all day because you suspended. How about, Mom, you bring him here early and let him clean the school and help me out and sweep up that and get his little Nikes dirty, stuff like that. They'll learn from that.
How did families respond to that?
Man, parents, they loved it.
Really?
Parents loved it. Yes, because the parents, they got to work. They got things to do.
Absolutely.
The kids' job is to come to school, and the parents, they're going to take care of whatever business they need to take care of. So the majority of the parents, support that and hold the kids accountable.
So they're meeting the high expectation of how they're supposed to move around your campus, right? They're restoring any harm that they did to the campus by whatever activity you have them do. And then they're there, so they still get to participate in learning and instruction.
Right. And I let them know, I'm not mad at you. I'm holding you accountable.
Right. It's teaching.
Yes, that's all it is. And so I that's one of my specialty area, I would say. When I was at one of the schools, they called me the dean of discipline. But I was at another school too, an alternative campus where, I was the principal there, and we took kids that got out of juvie, kids that couldn't cooperate at the regular schools, and they needed the structure, they needed the discipline. And so for me, I study kids. I study them, and they teach me what they need. And how they need it.
What do you mean by that?
So, like, if a kid is, say they come to school and they don't want to listen, they're defiant and oppositional to authority. So I know at the time you need time to rest and relax. You're not ready to talk to me because I'm authority, and there's opposition there.
Right.
But one thing I do know, you gonna need me before I need you.
Right.
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 So you sit there. So I'm learning from the kid. You need time. Go on and sit there. So, but then there may be another kid that say, "Oh yes, Dr. Howell, whatever you say, I'm gonna follow." And then as soon as I leave the room, he break the window out. He back to normal. So I study them too.
Right.
So that kid, I gotta know that when I leave, I want him to think that I'm gone, but I'm coming right back to catch you right in what you're doing and hold you accountable there.
Right.
So it's just like, and every single kid has their own personality. At the same time, I set the discipline and the structure for everybody, and then I just kind of move accordingly.
Humble.
Yeah.
I love it. And so, but I want people to hear too, because we hear, high expectations, discipline, but I also need people to hear heart and care, because you can't discipline without care and with heart. And students feel that,
most
and
definitely.
They respond to that because you being somebody who they know cares about them, even if they're pretending that they're upset, and I come into your environment and I don't have those relationships, I can do the same thing that you did, but the child is going to respond to me differently.
Yes.
And so you're saying discipline, but I need people to hear that piece too, because you've also talked about relationships. And so it's not just relationships with, in public school, we call it certificated and classified staff.
Yes.
The different employee groups, but also the students and the parents. Because there have been cases in the news where, maybe somebody did what you did, but the child responded violently, but that's not their situation.
So, so that's so important you brought that up, because people, please don't just come here and think you can do what I do.
Right.
You got to do what you do.
Right.
Right. So, an example, I remember when I was at the alternative school, the principal before me, he was running his program, and, he was strict on kids. He was moving. And when I first came there, I was just observing.
Right.
And it was like one time one of the kids was doing something, and the kid wanted me to correct him so that he could disrespect me. Okay.
And like paying attention, studying.
Yes. I'm paying attention. And so I just watched him, and I just let him do whatever he needed to do. I didn't say anything because I had not built no relationship with him.
Right.
So I'm not, and then that wasn't the time for me to even build a relationship. Hey man, how's it going?
Right.
Because I could feel and sense his defiance.
Right.
So as an adult, when you're dealing with kids or dealing with people, you got to be able to discern. You don't just go running up on kids or running up on people and you don't have the relationship and don't know. Yeah. They will invite you in if you're open to that. And some kids won't.
Right.
And those kids that won't, you got to keep moving. Like I use the example too. I watch a dog show on TV sometimes, and it's this idea that you just don't go up to some strange dog and try to pet them.
Very true.
And that dog don't know you, but the dog is cute.
Right.
Right. You go pet him and he don't want to be petted, and then you end up getting bit.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, very true.
So you got to be able to sense and see if it's okay to, a lot of times if the dog sense you got a good spirit, they will.
I don't know how we can teach that, but
well, that's
your spirit, right?
Right. So that's how we'll do tests.
Right.
We'll use that. We'll get dogs now, and we get some dogs.
Right. But babies and dogs.
Yes. Yeah. Here's a dog. Sit here at the front of the school. If you want to be a new principal and you're gonna be the principal of this new school, you got to pass this test. Go to the dog and say, "Hi, little puppy. Let me see how you interact with the dog."
No, they're not the one.
Right. If that dog bark at you and chase you out of there, get another principal.
But you mentioned your zone of genius is discipline, right, in campus climate.
Yes.
I'm a new principal. Give me 3 specific things that I can do possibly to address campus climate: humanizing, relationships, Building relationships with staff, allowing people to operate in their gifts, but like bring that down for me some
Right.
more.
So, I mean, I would start with, you got to be who you are.
Okay.
Don't try and do what other principals and everything that you do, it has to come from your heart. Be who you are. For example, if you are a messy person and you don't mind trash being all over the floor, then that's, don't focus on that at your school.
Yeah.
Focus on your gifts that you are. Like if you're a nice, sweet person, build relationships with students around that.
Right.
So when you come in, yes, things have to be changed,
Right.
but change it according to where your heart is.
I love that.
You can use the custodian to keep the place clean.
Right.
Just talk to the custodian with your heart. Now, for me, I don't like trash and stuff all over the floor. So I'm going to tell the custodian what I want, but you're going to see me picking it up.
Right.
I'm going to set that example because I don't have time to wait for that. That's just me.
Okay.
But some people, are different.
Okay, so that's one. So lead with who you are.
Yeah.
Right. And then you said delegate to allow people to operate in their roles, focus on your strengths.
Yeah.
Give me two more.
So in order to delegate, you got to build relationships. So everything always centered around that piece. And so you have to build and work on your relationship skills.
Right.
Everywhere you go all the time, because you're dealing with humans. Now, if you had robots at your school, then you don't have to worry about that.
Right.
But you're dealing with humans. So, of course, you delegate authority. However, you can't delegate authority if nobody trusts you and nobody wants to work for you.
Right.
I have teachers that they do that work because they believe in the vision. They believe in what we're doing, and they have buy-in. They are doing that work.
And you're leading though, because I know this.
Yeah.
You're leading by being out there doing the work.
Yeah.
You don't lead from your office.
Oh no. Yeah.
And you're getting results, right?
Yes.
So it's not just buy into my vision.
Yeah.
Right. Because I'm saying this is what's going to work, but you're out there doing the work and you're getting results.
Right. And you got to find out what they want. The teachers wanted this. I let the teachers know where my expertise are. I was vulnerable with my teachers. And I'm like, I'm here to do this work, and I'm capable of doing the work.
Right.
Are you guys with me? What do you want to do? Right. Because my fiance told me once, she's like, Tim, you don't ever want to be leading a group of people, and then you turn around and get to the destination, and nobody is following you,
right.
and you're the only one there.
Right.
So this is a team effort. Getting the buy-in, then the delegation of opportunities for different departments, different people, whatever they're good in.
Right.
Like, for example, I mean, I love basketball, but I don't have time to coach the boys' basketball team. So find a teacher that's interested, support them in that, build relationship with them. Oh, you play high school ball? You went to college, you play? Okay. And let them work.
But what you also do too is connected to relationships and leading by example and just being authentic. You play basketball with students at lunch, or football with students out lunch.
That's where that human part comes in. I'm being me. So I'll jump out there and shoot a jumper with my church shoes on. I'll go out there. I like to have fun. We can be creative. And we're going to be strict too. So while we playing basketball, the audience, y'all going to sit down and watch. You're not going to be running around throwing balls in the game while I'm trying to play. So that's just who I am. So that's why I would say a leader needs to just be yourself.
Yes.
What type of person are you? Because every person can be a leader. And, with your strength. I'm not going to lead the school how you do it. You have that feminine touch. I remember when you came and set up your office the first time, brought in all these chairs and cabinets and all this stuff in there. I'm like, well, how come I make my office look like this? But I don't care about that kind of stuff. But that's a touch that you have, and I think it's great when you have different leaders with different touches.
All right. Well, thank you. And then you have a book that you are
Yeah.
working on. What is the title? Tell me what is in this book?
Ah,
What's
man,
the title? What's the
that's a
title?
good question. I'm not gonna give all the title,
Okay,
but I'm
okay.
gonna give some of it
Okay,
because
that's fair.
I'm still working
Okay,
on
so
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
And the reason why I decided to write this book because when I first took on this assignment that I'm currently working in.
Wait, real quick. What type of school? K through 12. What is it? How many students?
Right. So it's a middle school.
Okay.
And 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Okay.
But I have experience working with. I started in elementary,
Okay.
K through 6.
And it is a Title I school.
Title I school in the community, in the neighborhood. That's not the greatest,
Okay.
low income.
Okay.
And I'm
going to
struggling.
share this too because you're going to talk about your book, and I want people to just the credibility piece.
Okay.
So the first year in that role at your site, it's tough finding teachers right now. So
Yes.
it is a national crisis.
Yes.
And so you had what, 11?
We were down 11 teachers on the first day of school.
And you typically have a staff about 42.
Yes. Yes.
But even being down with 11 teachers, and that lasted for a pretty significant amount of time.
Yes.
You still turned around the student culture at
Yes.
that school within 1 year. So I just want you
Yeah.
guys to understand, as he is talking about the contents of the book, this is the expertise that you have. You can see that he's humble. I need to work on my questioning so I can pull more out of you. You're going
Yeah.
to come back.
Yeah,
when the book is done, you're
if you
coming
want
back.
the nuggets, you got to dig. You got to get
we
in
gotta
there.
buy the book too.
Yeah.
So we're all. So it'll get better.
Yeah.
But tell us about the book.
Actually, I call it had the turnaround.
Oh, okay.
The turnaround equation.
I love it.
Because it's like a math problem. You're trying to solve these problems, right?
Okay.
But we got to turn the school around.
Okay.
And the reason why I did it is because I have a wealth of knowledge in me that it's just in my head all over the place. And you could ask me and pull it out and
Right.
you can get it. But
Yeah.
typically, I'm not going to just talk about it. I'm just going to do it.
True.
And so when I was about to do this assignment, I didn't want to do the assignment.
Really?
Yeah, because I heard the school was out of control. It was too much. It was a lot of work.
It takes a lot.
Yeah,
to
it takes
run
a lot.
school and then to turn around a school. That's a different level of energy.
And I didn't even know if I could do it.
Right.
To be honest with you, I thought, okay, here we go. Let me just try and see.
Right.
But again, my fiance, she always supported me. She was like, Tim, these kids need you. You have what they need. Just go ahead and, do that. Because I was going to run away. I was going to go.
Yeah.
I was going to go somewhere to another district or quit
Right.
teaching, doing something else. I don't know. But I call it the turnaround. And I'm basically writing about everything that I did
Okay.
when I got there.
Wow.
So I don't know if it's I'm just telling everything that, and each chapter has a title. For example, systems, you have to have systems and procedures in place. As a chapter about that. I do talk about relational capacity. I do talk about, in the classroom observations. I talk about parents and students. So it's just basically an idea of what I did when I I got there.
Okay.
And I think I write this in the book on my very first day that I started at this school. It was a mess. It was bad. Like it wasn't no school.
Wow.
I was like, man, this is not a school. I don't know what y'all doing here.
Wow.
I went in there. It was just off the chain. It was hot. School started in August. I was sweating.
What does that look like when you say it was off the chain? It was.
Okay.
What did that look like? What did you
It looks
see?
like-
Talk to me through your senses.
Yeah, kids not going to class.
Okay.
Where they're supposed to be. This is after the bell ring.
Okay.
They're yelling. They're fighting. Nobody knows what they're doing. Teachers just go lock themselves in the classroom. That's how they cope with it.
Right.
So inside the classroom, it could be if you don't have good classroom management, teachers sending kids out
Right.
to the, timeout room.
Right.
And that room is full and chaos. Kids calling their mamas, daddies up to the school. Parents come up to the school cussing and fighting. Y'all need to do something. Nobody's taking accountability. I mean, that all day long.
Yeah.
From the
Wow.
beginning of the day to the end of the day.
11 teachers down.
And 11 teachers down, which means some teachers got to go substitute in another classroom during their prep period.
Right.
They're not happy about that.
Of course.
And then those kids, they haven't built relationships with these kids that they're
Right.
just seeing.
Right.
So now those kids are not, they're disrespecting the teacher. Now the teacher don't feel good. They go back to their
course.
regular class. And that disrespect comes out in the lesson.
course, yeah.
So it was like that all day long. And then you dealing with fighting and kids bringing drugs and,
Right.
and you know, taking out their phones and bullying each other on the
Right.
phone. And
Right.
it's just like one thing after another
Right.
all day long. So my first year, there was no academic focus.
Right. Of course, it needs to be a safe environment.
Yes.
That's number one.
Yeah. And that's why I
bringing
say,
order to the campus.
yeah, that's why I said for me,
Yes.
I can't study if it's too much chaos going on
Right.
and the TV is on and the neighbor is making noise, the dog is jumping over and got to eat and
Right.
go. I can't concentrate.
Right. Right.
So I needed to create an environment that was conducive for me too.
Right. Right.
So my first day there, I did that all day long. At the end of the day, I didn't even go home. I went and stayed at my my fiance's family house. And I was thinking like, okay, what do I do? Do I just tell them I can't do this?
Right.
Or do I go back and try again?
Yeah.
So I said, I'm going to go back and try one more day.
Wow.
So I go to, next morning, I get up early. School, mind you, don't start until like close to 9 o'clock, 8:55. I said, I'm going to get there early so I can just kind of walk the campus again, come up with a better plan.
Right.
I get there about 7:30. I got 30 kids already there, just waiting.
Wow. School doesn't start for another hour and a half.
I'm saying to myself, like,
Wow.
yeah, why? I didn't understand why they were there so early.
Right.
So I just sat in my car for a second, got my little briefcase out, locked my door, and I parked away from the front of the school. I didn't park close.
Okay.
Because I'm like, I don't know these kids. I don't want them to know my car.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after I got out the car and started walking, they saw me coming. And they were in a big group. Like you know how they gather when they
Yes.
get ready to fight? It was in a big group.
Okay.
So I walked straight to them. And as I got close to them, the group parted open.
Wow.
And they let me through the gate.
Okay.
Good morning, Dr. Howell.
You had your respect.
Man, I knew then. I said,
You had him.
I got him. I got you now. Boy, they let me through that gate, man. That day, you should have seen me in action.
Because I believe kids, they know,
Yeah.
they know when their principal cares
Yeah.
about them and
Yeah.
the adults on campus care about
Yeah.
them. And it's not just about compliance and discipline and I am the authority and do what I
Yep.
say. You say that,
Right.
but that's why, I wanted people to see, what you weren't saying is the care, but kids
Yeah.
felt that
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
you right away. And they saw that you cared about giving them a good school.
Oh,
they
yeah.
finally had somebody.
Yeah. And so when they gave me that day, I believe that was a Friday.
Okay.
Man, I went off that day, man. I was checking everybody, everything. Even if it was a dog on my campus, I was like, you better sit down and don't move. I was just on it. I was
love
everywhere. Parents come in, hold on, let me get out. It built my confidence even
Yes.
more. And that's when I knew. And actually after that, it took me, I would say, 3 months.
That's incredible.
We had turned to school by Christmas time. We had made a turn.
Turned a corner.
Yeah, we made a
Still
turn.
down.
Oh
You have
yeah,
the same
Yeah.
11 teachers.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah.
says a lot about how the students, your teachers, how the families felt
Yes,
about you.
yes, and we had to.
And that shows you people will rally too when you're
Most
being
definitely. Yes.
authentic, excuse me.
Yeah.
Right.
And the teachers, I would always have conversations. I think I told the teachers that story, when we have our staff meetings and let them know, like, I'm in this fight just like you guys.
Right.
And we going to win every day. We just keep on going. And they believed in me and they
Right.
bought into it. And so everybody was doing their work. Everybody was doing their part, even with the missing teachers, even those teachers that didn't want to sub in the other class.
Right.
but they knew we needed the help.
Right.
And they would even go and complain to the district, like, we got to get some, even the
But
district.
in a way to support you.
To support.
It was, yeah. I happened to see one of those board meetings, and
Yeah.
it was in support of the school.
Most
It wasn't
definitely.
complaining
Yeah, they wasn't
against or
complaining.
no.
They was like,
Yes.
y'all need to help this man out.
Yes.
And then the district sent people from the district to the school
Right.
to start helping out.
love
And I
it.
was just like, okay.
Supportive district. I
And
love
they got a chance to see
Yeah.
what we were dealing with.
I love it.
You know? And so but you could see the turn.
And you somehow, in a public school setting, your students now are in uniforms. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
It's color coded.
I call it the first public-private, or the first private public school in Antelope Valley.
Wow.
It's a private school, but it's free.
I love it.
Okay, and the expectation is that you're going to work hard to be here, and if you're not willing to work hard, then you're probably at the wrong school.
I love it.
And if you want another type of, you can go to another private school,
Right.
but they're going to charge you $30,000 a
Right. I
year.
know that's right.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's now it's unbelievable where we at, and this is my third year. Right? I'm
Right.
starting at this school.
Okay.
So I only put in work for 2 years, and now it's awesome what's going on.
I saw a video
Okay.
of things happening at your campus.
Yeah.
And to see that video now and hear what you're talking about, that's unbelievable. I can't even imagine seeing all of the community, activities and how engaged students are. And you're like, that was once what the environment looked
Yeah.
like. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. Because and so I was so excited because I know my first year, I wasn't worrying about the academics. Ain't no need of going and trying to, y'all study hard now.
Right.
And then the kid is worrying about getting beat up when you
Right,
get out of class,
absolutely.
right?
And your teachers aren't safe. And
Right.
your staff aren't feeling safe.
So we spent the first year just on discipline.
Mm-hmm.
And I was creative. I had the support, and we just worked on that the first year. Then my second year, I was like, okay, now I need a plan, because everybody has said that these kids can't learn. Everybody said they can't perform.
Right.
These are a particular group of kids in a particular community. And I'm like, I always said to myself, I know they can perform. I know they can, because they got cell phones.
Right.
And they didn't read the instructions on their
Right.
cell phone, and they can
Exactly.
operate the phone better than
I'm
you
still
can.
lost on TikTok. I don't know
Right.
what to do.
Right. And another
Right.
thing, they know how to open up the phone pouches. The designer of the phone pouch designed it to be, you have to have a magnet
Right.
to open it up.
Right.
But these young geniuses figured out how to open the
Don't say that. Don't say how they do it.
Oh yeah, but they figured a way to do it. And so
Right. They're brilliant.
Yeah.
They're
so
brilliant.
I was like, okay, so I needed to move in a direction to where now we got to get the academic piece down,
Right.
especially in math.
Right.
In math, it was, and the reason why the math scores were just so low is because kids are afraid of math. They've been brainwashed and taught
Right.
and been told that they can't do math. It's hard.
Right. Right.
No, what's hard is the fact that you don't want to sit down and discipline yourself.
Right.
That's what's hard.
Right. Right.
So if parents can sit their kids down and hold them accountable, the math will come.
Right.
And so our second year at the end, we started working on it, and I could talk at another time about exactly what we did.
Okay.
But we did improve, 5 percentage points in math.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. That's
Yeah.
a huge jump, because most school districts, the expectation in public schools is that you grow 2% a year. So you exceeded that by
Yeah.
5. So that's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's
But
no small feat.
yeah, and we went up in language arts 10.
10. It was 11.
Was it 11?
It was 11.
Okay, well, I'll take the 11 then. But here's
That's
the thing.
incredible. That's incredible.
But I didn't even
Oh,
get
I
a
have
chance.
to say, so my school, we went up 2, right?
Y'all went up 2? Okay.
We went up 2. And then in math, we went up about 5. So
Okay.
I want people to see what a big deal
Right.
that is.
For me,
5 and 11 points.
Yeah, for me, it was a
1 year.
big deal
Yeah.
because you're dealing with, because in the back of my mind, if somebody keeps telling you a lie over and over again, you will eventually start
That's
to
so
believe
true.
that,
It's
right?
so true. It's so true.
So in the
It's a
back of my
narrative.
mind, I'm like, man, can these kids really learn? Even though I
Right.
know they can,
course.
but in the back of my mind, I'm like,
Right.
I'm looking at the test scores and I'm like, man, how is this happening?
Right.
How is 80% of the students not meeting the standard. That's crazy to me.
It is, yeah.
And I know for a fact, I've talked to certain kids, and they're just like my kids.
Yes. Right.
Right. So, we had to overcome that mindset first. And so after my first year, and when we went up, I was so excited not because of how much we didn't go enough, but we made movement.
Yes.
That movement told me, you can do it.
Yes.
Don't ever show me that you can do something, because that's what I'm gonna expect from you.
Right. That's your baseline now.
You don't cheat me. You ain't gonna cheat me.
We're coming for that 11 though, just so you know.
Oh, listen.
And that 5.
What? Like I said, we didn't even get a chance to get started with what we did until after Christmas, the second year, because we were still, we had to clean up a few things and put the plan together. And see, here's a nugget for principals. Like, you got to get your team on the same page.
Yeah.
You're talking about teacher collective efficacy. Like, everybody got to be on the same page working to this goal. What do we want?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
That's the most challenging thing, because we're adults.
Right.
Everybody have different experiences. Everybody want to go this way. But what I told my team, I said, I don't care which way we go. I don't care. We can all go the wrong way as long as we go together. That's all I care.
Right.
If we're gonna go to hell, let's go to hell together. Because when we figure out we on our way to hell, we can turn around and get back in the right direction together.
Right.
So if we get together, then we can. That's where the movement happens.
Yes.
And so that's where the challenge, and it's going to always continue to be a challenge. But once you get the momentum, that's what I'm trying to get. The momentum, of the teachers moving, and my teachers are doing the work.
Yeah,
they're doing the work. They know what I expect now. They always bring the ideas cause like I'm the visionary, the leader of the school, and I could be like, I don't know if that'll work. But if you passionate enough and you done this before, okay, show me something new. I'm gonna follow you.
Right.
But then if I see, no, this is about to, we about to wreck. Turn around. We're not doing that. Let's get out of here.
Remember when I was like, Dr. Howell, I could do the master schedule.
Yeah.
He was like, ooh.
Well,
how's that schedule,
I kept on, every time I turn around, I'll be standing at your door looking in. How's the schedule coming? I'm working on it. I'm standing like, man.
Because that is the heart, right? Like that in budget, that's the heart of a secondary school. But was it done?
Yeah, you got it done.
We didn't have to flip it.
Yeah, I'm going to give you 5 on that. Yeah, you got that schedule done, because that schedule is a beast in middle school, because you want to make sure the kids get what they need, and it has to flow.
So thank you. And I one of my takeaways, there are many, but one of my takeaways is sometimes people want the role of principal. They want the title. Sometimes you hear people say, oh, I'm getting ready to retire. I just want to make more money. And I don't know if people realize how thoughtful and intentional you have to be. It's more than just running a staff meeting. It's more than just building a master schedule. Because what I hear consistently, I have heard consistently and have seen and experienced, you're very thoughtful, you're very intentional. Building relationships is not just bringing snacks to the staff meeting or giving people inauthentic compliments, but truly getting to know who is on your team, and really mining for talents and gifts and giving people a safe space to bring all of those things out. Right? Because really, truly, if we're just all doing our job descriptions, kids aren't going to get what they need.
Most definitely. Right. And like you said, and when you I talk about building relationships a lot, because some people, because of life, it makes you tough. It makes you angry. It can make you a mean person.
Yes.
And you have to learn how to look from a different lens. When you're the leader of the organization, you're looking at it from a different lens than everybody else. And you have to be able to do that and be able to put your stuff aside.
Yes.
If you can separate your personal life and,
your feelings,
because it's not about that. I mean, if you're a mean person, even a mean person, an angry person could do it if you can separate it. But if you're just a mean person that dogs don't want to be around you,
you don't pass that dog test.
Yeah, you don't pass the dog
test.
You're
not reflective, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And for me, I'm as painful as it was for me to have to experience, a tough time in my life. I was very judgmental at first. I used to judge. Yeah, I used to
I
judge
can never
people.
see that.
I was a person, and how could that happen? How could a person do that or whatever? Man, when life hit me, man, and I had to look at myself, man, I was an ugly self. I was an ugly self inside,
Yeah.
and it was painful to look at, and that was the time right when I was going into administration, when I'm having to look at myself and deal with myself, and I was able to get through it. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, but I was able to get through it and separate.
Right.
But then when I get home, I got to deal with that ugly self again.
Yeah.
But it was an experience and a learning experience, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I would like for it to have happened all over again,
Yeah.
so that I can get to this place now.
Right. Right.
'Cause
No, go ahead.
the place that I'm in right now, like, man, I'm happy. I'm experiencing life that I never thought was possible. That
Wow.
I couldn't even be happy or enjoy life or have a relationship and
After going through that broken
after
period in
going
your
through
life.
that, yeah.
But the fact that you have the courage to reflect, because some people don't. And what I see a lot, especially in education, when people don't have the courage to reflect, they blame. Oh, it's this person's fault, or they can't just take responsibility for the areas where they need to grow. So thank you for sharing that. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
If you weren't a principal, we're gonna close out. If you weren't a principal, what would you be doing right now?
Man, that's a good question. Man, I love what I do.
Okay.
If I won the lottery today and I had millions of dollars, I would do this work.
I love that.
I like what I do. I would do it. I mean, if I couldn't do this work, I would probably open up like a business with kids after school, playing. See me at the gym, still doing the same thing. Or I would do this work for free if I didn't, if I didn't
And then
need the
you
money.
could donate your check to me.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. No, my fiance, she want that money.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
She waiting right now.
Okay. And then what's just a fun fact people would be surprised to know about you?
I think I'm so transparent. People know pretty much everything about me. I'm a musician, and I like movies, and I'm just myself. I mean, I just started Tai Chi.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that
Yeah,
for
I'm
you.
starting to do it and trying to figure it out. I do it by myself. Nobody watching me, so nobody don't laugh at me.
Okay.
But I like it. It relaxes me. Probably because I'm getting older.
Okay.
But I'm pretty transparent.
Is there a last word or something you'd like to say to?
Well, I did. I really want to help. What's the point of me taking all of this knowledge with me and never sharing it with anybody?
Exactly.
But I did something recently where my custodian, I noticed the improvement that she was making on the campus, because when I first got there, the campus needed a lot of support with cleanliness. And I recently acknowledged her in front of the staff on the improvements that she was making, and this campus is starting to look good and this and
It
that.
did look good.
Yeah. And she just smiled and said, thank you. And then I noticed, boy, she's starting to work more. She's starting to clean up more.
Yeah, everybody wants to be seen and
Yes.
appreciated.
And you
and get
acknowledge.
credit.
Yes. And the thing is, yeah, 'cause you're speaking of credit, Dr. Spates always want credit for something.
I want credit.
Just want the credit. I'm like, listen, just get the job done, and then I'll give you credit when it's over. No, but I'm a people person.
Yeah.
I like to go to the mall. I like to watch people. I study them. I wonder if they're looking sad, what happened in their life, or if they're excited, or kids, they have no worries. Then they got the dog, and just like it creates this mind and this story in my mind, and my mind can just go everywhere. But just watching people. But one thing I knew about people is that everybody has a story, and people ultimately want the same thing. We all want the same thing. We just want to be seen. We want to be loved. We want to survive, make our money. We want our kids successful. Yes. We want to live in a safe environment. We all want the same things.
Right.
But the life challenges, you got to go through your challenge. You got to figure out how to get there. But that's another good thing
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
You know, we all don't go the same way. We don't go the
Right.
same path. Because you may not be able to make it through. I don't want to go through your path. I don't
Right.
want to go through what you went
Right.
through. I want to go through what I'm go through,
Right.
and I'll figure that out.
And allow it to teach you.
Yes, learn from it. Yeah, that's it.
Well, thank you for hopping on my beautiful bus.
This is good. This is good. I
Thank
like
you for
it.
the ride.
You gonna have me come back?
Yes,
when I
because
come
we didn't
back.
talk about the book. And even when we work together, he's very humble, just doing the work. And if we work together, I am the paparazzi because I really do like, even though people don't believe it when I say it, I am an introvert and I like being behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably why we worked really well together.
Yeah, yep.
And so I love just highlighting what people do. Oh, we have to put this on social media. We have to let the world know all of the great work that you're doing, but you don't even realize it. You're just doing it and doing what's best for students in the community.
But I'm glad you have this podcast because unfortunately, especially with, people of, I don't like people of color, Black people. I'm going to just say that.
Right.
They highlight, social media highlights the negative things.
Right.
And we don't highlight the good things.
Right.
The positive things and all the things that we're doing. Like when I came into the studio here, I'm like, man, wow, this is amazing.
It is beautiful.
I didn't even know this place existed, right?
I have to give credit. It's 661 Creator Space.
Okay.
The owner, Tabia, she's phenomenal.
Why don't we know about it? Why don't people know? That's my thing is people are surprised when they see, a Black principal. I'm like, why?
Right.
Like, it might be rare, but if we start to talk about it and acknowledge it and stop talking about all the negativity and the stuff that we can't control, we can control this.
Right.
We having a good conversation. Now it's up to, the social media and other people to have platform. If you like it, repost it, get the information out there. Cause this is what we're doing. This is real work.
And it's interesting, too. I was talking to the owner, Tabia, of 661 Creator Space, who allows us to use this beautiful studio. And I was telling her when I started doing the marketing online, somebody said, oh, is it just a podcast for BIPOC or people of color? Which is interesting just because I happen to be an African-American woman and a principal. The assumption is I'm only here to serve that community or communities of color.
Right.
And it's not.
No.
I didn't say anything about that. This podcast is for all students and we're here to serve all children.
That's
equally.
that's what we do.
Right.
As Black people want to put us into this category of Black.
Yeah.
No, I just happen to be Black.
Right.
But I box with the best of them.
Right.
I don't discriminate against anything.
Absolutely
but
not.
This needs to be highlighted. Why?
Yeah.
Because the negativity of happening to be Black is always posted.
Right.
So why don't we need to highlight the positive things of what we do.
Thank you.
And that's a whole nother podcast we can talk
That
about.
is.
Yeah, I ain't gonna go down there and talk about it. But I know for a fact that there's principals that do this work that happen to be Black. I know principals that happen to be white doing this work, and it doesn't matter. But it's just like, why is it always just a surprise? And how come this can't be highlighted?
And just normalized.
Normalized. How come the little kids can't see this?
Right.
Why they always got to see us fight now? I guarantee you, I go out there and start fighting and tearing up something.
You're going to be everywhere.
I'm going to be on the news. Look at this Black principal over there fighting and tearing up on, and all the kids, ooh. The kids need to be looking at me right now and what we doing.
Yeah,
so that they can do the same thing. But,
Thank you for that.
So yeah, I like it. This is good. Actually, and see, I am a victim of it. I'm brainwashed because I should have expected this level of excellence.
Right.
I didn't
That's
expect
true,
this
because we work together and you see my
but
offices.
I know you good at it. But even still, I didn't even want to come. I'm like, man, I got to drive over here. Well, I hope she ain't got no junk. And I get here and I'm impressed. I should have known, like, man, this is good. So hopefully, this will be the first one that takes off, because we need stuff to the positivity to grow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for hopping on the school bus.
No problem,
with Dr.
man.
Spates.
Do y'all got air conditioning on this bus? Because I'm hot.
Okay, let's stop recording. Yeah.